So Normal Ain't Normal with Rosario Dawson.
Great web series. We saw 4 of the episodes the other week, and
the whole series. And before we jump into asking you about it, I just want to show the official trailer.
Okay.
2 episodes are already out. Everybody can watch them after you watch this show. Take a look.
Let's close out with some silent meditation. Ass mother. Hi, hello. No, I haven't miraculously hit the lottery since you called way back when, 3 whole days ago.
You might want to hit the mute, girl.
You guys are hiking up the rent again?
Nothing like a good old treaty signing brokered by a white man.
You almost smudge some sage on him for protection.
CEOs making billions of dollars off of people getting sick.
The virus didn't kill me, but this industry almost did.
You get mad at us because we come here to survive. We're still not good enough, are we? Not machine enough.
We need each other.
The lost, the messed up, even the broken. Everyone is useful.
Hell yeah.
Good shit.
Oh, shit.
So, okay, Josh, tell me about the inception of this idea. Like, how did it come about, and why the name Normal Ain't Normal? It might be obvious, but explain it.
I still don't fucking understand it myself, and I made this show, so hopefully we can figure it out together. But first off, I gotta say, Francesca, you know that we've tried to cast you now 2 different times in 2 of our web series, and the first time you moved to LA, and so, you know, couldn't do our Bay Area series.
This is where movies are made. I'm sorry.
And then the second time you know, got pregnant, and so I blame both of you for that one.
Yeah, that's my bad. That's on me.
Yeah, that's on you, man.
I must have missed these emails.
Yeah, we gotta talk to your agent, which also I blame Matt again for that. So, you know, take 2.
Different
but
Matt.
No,
Not this Matt.
Yeah. No, we're you know, the show, it's a web series that it's looking at. We started it about 1.5 years ago. To be honest, like right when folks were rolling up these little sleeves and starting to get vaccinated and shit. And the first shot before we're at like booster 4 or 5 or whatever we're at now.
Right.
And around that time, you know, there was this one phrase that I'm sure you were hearing, we were all hearing all day from companies, from government, definitely from some big media companies that were like, it's time to get back to normal. Enough with this quarantine shit. Enough with, you know, looking out for each other. Enough for caring about public health. It's time to get back to normal. We all need to get back to normal. Get back to normal and like be broke again was basically subtext. Like get back to like not thinking about anyone other than yourself. Get back to normal America.
Get back to less than subsistence wages. Get back to not having universal health care. Get back to how wonderful life was before the pandemic.
Yeah, things were great.
Yeah.
Except,
And so, like, we thought about this, and, you know, I think about this a lot. Something you guys might be thinking about soon. As a dad, I think about, like, there's a million things when my kids, I got a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old, and so they were 4 and just born. And when the pandemic hit, and so, like, Zoom pre-K for my 4-year-old, that was not the business. Not having childcare or any, like, extended family care because we couldn't see each other for the baby. That was not the business. So there's a million things in our daily lives. Of course, we wanted to get back to normal, want to hug folks, want to get drunk at the bar, wanted all this shit. But on the bigger issues, like Matt was talking about healthcare, about workers' rights, around so much of what happens in this country, the truth is what's normal in America is what got us into this shit in the first place.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to talk about, you know, American exceptionalism, all the things that are normalized, where if you're outside the US and you're looking in, you're like, this country's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And the pandemic was but a lot of what happened in the US, it's even more crazy. And so this was, there was that phrase, Arundhati Roy said, the pandemic is a portal to imagine something new. And I'm not going to quote her because I'm already fucking it up. But, this moment was a chance, and still maybe on my more optimistic days is a chance to like imagine something different. It's like we could stop and change it up. And so for us, when we're thinking about the new normal, we're like, let's actually imagine what's some shit we would want to see coming out of this here in the US.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's, I think in each vignette in like all, is it 4 episodes?
Yep.
In all 4 episodes, there is, that breaking point of the main character who's highlighting, their own struggle with like healthcare, food, housing, workers' rights. But, and there's a little bit of justice in each one of them, despite the how shitty everything is. I love, first of all, the character, it's so well written and it's so well done.
Yeah. Very well acted too.
And so well acted.
Which is to me like
really hard for short films.
That's the hardest thing.
You're lucky that I wasn't that I guess I wasn't available because like I'm okay. But I really I think that it's so important that we're just not looking back at all. It's like it's a little bit of we're too big to fail after the 2008 Great Recession of banks are now just bigger, doopy doo. And so instead of hey, we have now real thought around a public healthcare system, as if, or the housing market's even worse, fucking way worse than before. And if moratoriums on evictions are lifted, it's like, okay, but that's only going to last for obviously they're lifted, so and so I'm glad that there's this little bit of, it's like a moment of reflection to look back when nobody wants to look back, especially around entertainment.
Right.
It's really hard to sell.
Right.
Hey, this is a real story. It's talking about real issues. I know you probably want me to pitch you the next Stranger Things, but the Stranger Thing, there's some sci-fi shit is happening every single day.
We
here.
live in fucking Stranger Things. This is just a giant Hawkins that we live in, and the upside down is just where we live.
Totally.
No, we've been in the upside down for a little while now. But I think, it's true. If you look at Netflix, if you look at Hulu, if you look at any of these channels, none of them are doing shows set in our actual reality right now, or coming out of it. And on one level, I get it, because when you don't know the conditions, what it's going to be like in a year, you don't know, should our characters be wearing masks? You don't know how to talk about something that's going to come out 6 months or in a year. And even for us making this show, you saw in the trailer, some of the characters have masks, some don't. When we were making it over the last year and a half, that's how long it takes to make even 4 episodes of a series like this. We weren't sure what was going to be still, quote, relevant or not, or if we were going to be post masks. It's really interesting. The first episode we shot in this series was right before the Delta surge, June 2021, if we can remember that far. And we had a bunch of elders in the room. My pops was there, my stepmom was there, all these folks. And everyone had just kind of got vaccinated. Right. And we asked all the extras, we said, you're welcome to, it was an indoor scene. It was kind of a cathartic moment. My friend Rima Seal, who's an amazing Palestinian chef and activist, and she's acting as herself. She's telling her own story about her restaurant and workers' rights and inequalities and all this stuff. And she's giving this cathartic speech. It's really powerful. And we had all these crusty old white folks in the room, including my dad and stepmom. Shout out to the crusties, who I love very much.
White folks. Can I just
who
say,
are babysitting my kids later tonight. So thanks,
crusty
Pops,
old libs are my target demo. They love the fuck out of me, and so I feel we're kindred.
So anyway, we were filming it, and we said, guys, if you want to be masked, you can, or if you want to take it out. And it was all the 60 and 70-year-old white folks in Berkeley and Oakland who had been wearing masks for like a year and a half, they like ripped them off. Like it was their moment of fucking glory. Like
they've been emancipated. Yeah.
And then 2 months later, Delta hit, and we did like a follow-up scene, and everyone was like, I'm gonna like, don't get fucking close to me. I'm back to masking. And this was what it was like filming it. This was like as we were writing it. This is like as we were creating it. And for me, I think what's most important is not about the mask versus not mask. It's about the story of, for working class folks, for folks who got hit twice, 3 times, 4 times as hard by all the conditions beyond of the pandemic, through racism, through inequality, through all this shit, through, you know, small things like threats of nuclear war, whatever, you know, you talked about in the first half hour. I think that those stories have been swept under the rug. And that's what corporate America wants to move beyond. Like, we called people essential for like a year, and then it's like, nah, y'all weren't really essential. Essential doesn't just come and go. It doesn't work like that. And the truth is, what we're saying is we all have to be essential. No one can be healthy until everyone's healthy. If we didn't learn nothing out of this fucking pandemic, well, then we spent 2 years masked up for bullshit. And, you know, I'd love to learn a couple things. And I think the other thing with the show is, like, how do you tell these stories that balances the fear and the grief with also the joy and the absurdity and the contradictions of, like, this shit is weird. And the shit's going to be weird for a while. And so for us, I think we want to tell stories that could honor the weird. You know, normal ain't normal has maybe a couple of meanings. It's like normalized injustice and normalized what the fuck. It's just like our lives are, it's just how many Zoom shows do we do? And this is normalized. And like Rosario's character that you see on there, she's doing an online yoga class because her yoga teacher in the episode is so afraid of getting not just COVID, but getting sick again because she can't afford it because she doesn't have health care, that she's only doing online classes 2.5 years into the pandemic. And she's down to 1 student left, which is Rosario Dawson, who, you know, kind of zoomed the fuck out. So this is like, these are the contradictions. We wrote an episode about universal healthcare using online Zoom yoga as a way for make some comedic propaganda.
But I mean, also like yoga teachers generally, unless like they don't have healthcare. I mean, that's the irony. That's the irony of the whole thing is like you're there helping people. I mean, you know, feel good, get better, whatnot. And that shit doesn't come. I mean, like we're stand-up comics, we're podcasters. Like I buy on the marketplace, pay through the nose. All that crap. So I really liked it. And I think it's so interesting how around the world, though, it doesn't, like, I want to see that these stories, but like globally, like how were people, you know, who have universal paid leave on childcare, like were they as strapped or were they able to withstand not only the public healthcare systems they might have, but, you know, how did they also navigate? It's such a uniquely American miniseries.
I think what I loved about that first episode, the one with the yoga teacher, was watching this person without healthcare, to, you know, with 1 student left, trying to navigate her own, like, her own self-care, and realizing that, like, all that self-care shit that people talk about and kind of people scorn a little bit, like we talk a lot about self-care and whatnot, and people will be like, oh, you know, always people with these crystals and yoga and whatever. It's like, well, a lot of people don't have healthcare. A lot of people
or can't afford
they can't afford healthcare, and so like literally in order to avoid getting this massive disease,
I'll clutch some crystals
and do some yoga because that's what I fucking got. And for me, that was a bit of a perspective shift, because I was like, yeah, that's a really good argument for, like, you know, why people are like latching on to things that may or may not be, I don't know, medically fit. Like, you know, they may not be scientific that like crystals can cure shit, but I get it. If you don't
Depends
have
which crystals, Matt. It
Yeah.
depends.
Okay,
which
fair enough.
You're not
crystals.
getting the right one.
Yeah, you got to go to the Ashby Flea Market before 10 a.m. and you got to ask for my boy Benny, and then he'll just hook you up on the side. But you got to get
if
the
it's
right
crystal
crystals.
meth, I'll do it.
Wow.
No.
That's my favorite crystal.
That's
at a
Johnny at
different
6
flea market.
a.m.
Yeah. You got to get your flea market. You know.
Yeah, I
crystals
always go to
correct.
the wrong one, get the wrong crystals.
I know
I
you do.
think
It's okay. That's why I'm here for you.
That's
Normal
what you're
normal.
here for me. Yeah.
The one thing I wanted to also say though is like I feel like you guys started writing this and producing it in a time when, and it has like each story has like a sense of things are going to be different. There's a small justice that's been highlighted but then righted.
Mm-hmm.
And during this whole time, we've also seen an emergence of the labor movement in sectors we hadn't seen before. So I'm thinking about Reem, and I'm thinking about, the episode about the janitor, like
great episode.
just the ways that like working and essential people are like, no, motherfucker, it's not going to go back to normal. And you're going to have to get used to us organizing, to say nothing of the nurses who have been on strike in multiple states.
To say nothing of the people who
are
are
the teachers who've been on strike,
right? Or just for people who aren't in unions who are deciding not to go back to some shitty job that pays them a subsistence wages, and people freaking out about like, well, what are we gonna do? People don't want to work anymore.
The phrase, and I was late to the game, but when they started saying quiet quitting as like a bad thing, and I didn't know what it was at first because I'm not up on these internet streets as much as other people. Yeah. But when they said quiet quitting, and I read, and I was like, oh, that means basically just doing your job and not doing unpaid extra labor and overtime. Yeah. And every article was talking about how that was a bad thing.
Right. Yeah.
Now that is American normalized, like exceptional, just self-exploitation.
Self-exploitation.
It's just saying, in France and other countries, they have laws that say you have to turn off your like email or phone, or like our bosses can't hit you up outside of your work hours. Wonderful. In America, we're like texting from the hospital, like, I'm about to have a surgery. I'll be out for like 2.5 hours. Let me know when I'm out of this heart surgery and I'll get right back to you. In other countries, it's like, take 2 months off. We'll pay for it. And the self-care shit, Matt, when you're talking about with the crystals, it's funny. But when we wrote that episode about the yoga teacher, and then we didn't even think about it, but it is kind of a subtle critique of the self-care model. Of just like, but it's just when there is no collective care, when there is no social care, we privatize everything, which is just taking care of ourselves. Yeah. And because there's no one to take care of us. And so
it's a symptom.
It is totally a symptom. And anyway. We don't talk about how it's a symptom enough. We just think it's like, oh, they're really new age. And yeah, sure, some of the Rogan like pilled people have gone too far.
Right.
But also we don't realize that if we had a robust public healthcare system, people wouldn't be turning to fucking podcasters for like their medical advice.
They wouldn't be going on Facebook and trying to like stock up on like ivermectin. Because, or hydroxychloroquine. Because
they wouldn't be leaking out their assholes because fucking Rogan
because they
said
had
so.
access to actual medical professionals. Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No. I'm writing down notes. I assume you're giving me medical advice right now.
Yes.
What you were going for?
No.
Shouldn't be taking random podcasters' medical advice?
Well, you can take Rogan's advice.
Look,
He's got a lot of good
if you have under 1 million followers, you're not a shill. Over 1 million, try guys. Rogan. Shill.
All right, well then I'm almost there.
Yeah, I'm so close.
I'm so close.
I'm working on my shill status.
I can't wait.
That's all I want to do.
I want to be a paid shill. And can I ask you about independent filmmaking and doing a project like this? And
I get tired just when you asked that, and I just let out a long sigh.
Yeah. You're like, I'm already exhausted thinking about it.
Because it is so high quality. It's so well done. And I know it wasn't easy. And I know the work that you do generally bridges this divide of social justice and storytelling that again is like not monetizable always. So just talk about like what is your either advice to folks or how do you make it happen and work?
Yeah, no, I'll talk about why what I do is a bad business plan and a bad choice for your artistic career, but good for, you know, your heart and soul until you're like looking up social media metrics and have to dive deep into algorithms and the stuff you guys know about. So, I mean, basically what me and my comrade, my brother, Ivani Turiaga, as Francesca, you always thought that was my brother, my director, Ivan, and I, who we work on Offsides, and we've done most of our projects together, the North Pole, and now this. What we want to do is like, we feel like the left deserves high quality entertainment and high quality storytelling and high quality, like just getting good characters and powerful images in a way that the right really does understand, which is they do stories that we don't watch a lot of it, but they have all their
Margaret
Christian
Qualley's sister
movies,
in some
a lot of this stuff.
JD Vance's fucking hillbilly elegy bullshit. Sorry,
they take storytelling very seriously. The left, we take talking points and PowerPoint presentations seriously.
We love a TED Talk.
No one's moving anyone off of a fucking PowerPoint presentation.
100%.
Probably. Except my dad. Shout out to my pops again and the geezers. So I think for us, like part of what we want to do is elevate grassroots movements and grassroots stories in a way that for folks who are watching it, they feel like this is a show that they're just enjoying as a show. As something that is maybe not on par with $100 million Netflix show, but maybe like a $2 million Hulu show. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And just the production quality. We feel like these stories deserve that production quality. We feel like these issues deserve that level. And so part of what we want to do, we always, we want to hit people in the heart, mind, and funny bone. And just get in that perfect trifecta and really elevate these stories in a way that people feel like their stories matter, that their issues matter, because if it doesn't look good, if it doesn't sound good, people don't take the shit serious. And so we want to, our job is kind of to do the fun shit, the creative shit, to get people into the serious movement building side. So each episode we partner with a different either union or social movement organization. Folks like the Nurses United on healthcare. The episode today that just dropped about indigenous rights called Unlord the Land, written by Tommy Orange. It stars the Pharaoh Woon-A-Tai from Reservation Dogs. Speaking of Hulu shows, that's my favorite show right now.
I was gonna say, I mean, Reservation Dogs is sort of the most similar in terms of that heart, head, funny bone. Mix.
I mean, there's the shows that have come out the last couple of years that influence us for sure. There's Reservation Dogs, there's Rami, of course, Atlanta, Master of None sometimes.
Someone is like, no, I'm just gonna go to Italy and learn how to make pasta.
Except for the one season.
Italiano. And I'm just like,
so maybe the first one. And shows like that are at that kind of, they call them dramedies, but it's trying to mix the absurd with the real, the hilarious with the outrageous. And I don't know where one starts and one stops these days. And so we just kind of put it all in there, and we take the craft seriously in terms of the writing, the performing. And then we're lucky to work with some pretty fucking amazing actors, some of which are, doing their Hollywood thing. And for them, this is like what they believe in, and they wish they could make more stories like this. And then some, it's Bay Area local actors kind of getting their first start. And so for us, that kind of mixture is where a lot of the magic happens, in elevating and just kind of bringing people and issues together in a way that doesn't happen, and hoping that people watch it, enjoy it, laugh, cry, and then can see what these organizations are, and take action. So the indigenous rights one today, is with Indian Collective and the Land Back movement. And here in Oakland, the Segurite Land Trust, 2 amazing organizations. So if you watch the episode, you can get connected with them. But just watch it, see it, enjoy
Segurite
it.
Land Trust, that's awesome.
And then start the write-in campaign so we can cast Francesca in the next season. You know what I mean?
I swear to God, I would love to be in a future.
She's about to
Offsides
email her
Productions.
agent and be like, "What the?
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do